Hi everyone. My name is Diana and we are going to be having a little Q&A with some representatives from the College of Natural Science. So I'm going to wait a few minutes and we're going to have our first guest, and we have a lot of guest speakers today, which is really exciting. So we get to learn and hear from faculty and students that are part of departments that are within the College of Natural Science. So I'm going to wait a few more minutes and then we can go ahead and get started. I'm just going to wait for a couple more people to join us. If you see me looking to the side, I am looking at my two monitors here to make sure I have everyone's name in here and the itinerary for later. Okay, let me go ahead and see if our first guest is here. His name is Dave. Let me go ahead and try adding him so he can join us and go ahead and get us started for today. Okay, I'm sending this. And while we wait for him, if any of you have any questions that you'd like me to ask any of the speakers, just go ahead and put it in the comments. Hi, David.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? It's nice to meet you.
Yes, good to meet you.
So go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Sure. So I'm Dave Hosensall. I'm the Dean of the College of Natural Sciences here at CSU Chico. And I'm really excited to talk a little bit about what we're doing and have some of you come see us and become members of our community. And actually in the background, because two of us have the same idea, is Nick Nelson, who you'll be meeting with in a little bit.
Awesome. So go ahead and share, a little bit more about the college. Maybe give us an overview.
Sure. So the College of Natural Sciences has 8 departments. We've got the School of Nursing, which is one of our departments. We've got Science Education. We've got Nutrition and Food Sciences. We've got Physics. We've got Chemistry and Biochemistry. We've got Geological and Environmental Sciences. We've got the Department of Biological Sciences. And hopefully I've said 8, or someone's going to be mad at me. But we have all the fundamental sciences, and then we have a couple other related programs. And then where I'm standing right now, I actually turned it so you're not looking at me, but I'm actually standing right near our brand new building, but you can still see a fence around it. Yeah. We're going to be moving into this building starting in 1 week. We're pretty sure the fire marshal is in there doing an inspection right now.
That's awesome.
So we're going to move into this new building. In the spring, we'll have faculty in there. My office will be in there. We'll have people doing research. We'll have people doing some other things. And then in fall, for those of you who are applying, you'll be the first students to actually use this new building. And it's a fantastic building. It's really designed with student success in mind. It's got lots of great spaces where you can hang out. You can see all the windows from here. We got windows with beautiful views. We got places for you to work, places to meet with faculty, great classrooms, and we really look forward to being there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited to see the new building, and actually our page we just posted a little video that kind of shows you a little bit of the inside. So if any of you want to see what the inside of the new science building will look like, go ahead and check that out on our well.
Yeah, it's a great video. I'm a little bit stiff, but our student senator is amazing, as are our faculty, and you'll also get to see undergraduates, which isn't going to happen in a lot of schools, but we do a lot of it here.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for starting us off, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. That was awesome. I'm really excited to see that new building. I'm going to go ahead and invite Nick Nelson next, who is a faculty member from the physics department. So let me go ahead and get them to join us. And I'm sorry if it looks a little weird while I reach over to type in their name, but you got to do what you got to do. Okay. I'm really excited to hear from all of these faculty. I personally am currently in a biochemistry class, and some of the professors we have on today have been my previous professors, so it's going to be really exciting to hear from them and see them again. Okay, while we're waiting for Nick, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm a senior. I'm originally from San Diego, California. If you've joined us for IGs before, you might have seen my face around. And I'm actually studying nutrition and food science, which is one of the majors that falls under the College of Natural Science. And here we have Nick. Hi, Nick. Nice to see you.
Hello.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Nick Nelson. I'm a professor in the physics department here at Chico State. And as you can see, I'm actually standing about 20 feet to the left of where Dean Hassenzall was standing.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you should learn in any class is find the smart kid and do what they're doing.
That's some good advice. Awesome, Nick. So could you maybe tell us what you research or what you teach?
You bet. So my research area is astrophysics. So I study stars like our sun. And I do that primarily using computers. So we use the laws of physics to predict what the inside of a star looks like, what happens in there, how stars rotate, and how they generate spots like sunspots. And some of the classes I teach are intro physics sequence. So I get a lot of freshman and sophomore science and engineering majors that come in through that class. And then I also teach several of our upper division physics sequence courses, which are more for physics majors and minors. But classes like classical mechanics or computational physics, or a new one that we actually just started last semester, which is called communicating physics, which teaches people, science nerds like myself, how to talk to real people.
That's awesome. I feel like that'd be a cool class because somebody might understand it, but then it's important to know how to teach that to others too and communicate that. So that's awesome that we have that now. What do you think is a lesson or a topic that you think some of your students are most excited about, or is most popular with some newer students?
Well, we have a lot of students, from a lot of different majors that end up taking physics. But one of the things that I love about physics is how we can apply it to all sorts of different things. So, for example, in my intro level class that I'm teaching right now, we're about to start talking about rotation and how things spin and how you can understand how things spin and move in circles. And we can apply that to everything from a spinning top to planets going around stars to the way atoms work. So the exciting thing for me about physics is just how applicable it is to how many different things and how many different other sciences and technology fields are touched by this kind of stuff we study.
Yeah, that's awesome. And let me see. I think also as a student, like who has taken a lot of science classes, I can tell when professors are passionate about what they teach because it gets me excited. And I can kind of see that in you as well. Like you're super into your work. And I like from a student perspective, that definitely like showcases when you're teaching too. So I'm so excited.
Well, I have been accused of being very loud at times in class because when I get excited about something, the level of volume tends to go up. So it's hard to sleep.
I mean, as it should when you get excited. What's something you love about Chico State students?
One of the things that is really nice about Chico State students, and particularly the students that come through my classes, is they have a determination and a sort of, I don't know what you call it, grit about them. They've decided what they want to do. They're excited about it, and they're willing to put in the work and the effort. And when you have that attitude, that allows the students to really do well. And the changes from seeing classes as a sort of a barrier to seeing them as an opportunity. And then hopefully they get at least half as excited as I get when they learn about this stuff.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us a little insight into what you do and teaching physics on campus. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to go ahead and invite the next guest, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. All right. That was awesome. He seems so cool. Okay, let's see. Our next guest is a student who is with the Department of Physics. So now we'll get to see the student side of somebody in the College of Natural Science, in this case, the physics department. Let me go ahead and invite them. I am not sure if I'm going to pronounce your name right, but I think it's Bjorn, but we will see. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and reach over and add them. Again, if any of you have questions for any of the guests I have today, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll try my best to read them and, you know, make it a little more interactive. Okay. Let's go ahead and invite them. Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. My name is Diana. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and maybe let us know where you're from or what your major is?
Yeah, so you did pronounce my name right. My name is Bjorn Larson, and I am a physics major in my senior year. And I've been living in Chico for 6 years now, but I've actually only been with the physics department for 2 years because I was a transfer student from Butte College, but I think I've gotten to know the department pretty well in my time here.
That's awesome. Great to hear. I've been in Chico too for 6 years. All right. So let's see. Tell us what happens. You know, what's your favorite experience being a physics student right now?
Yeah. Well, my favorite experience. Well, right now things are interesting because we're virtual, but I have my setup here where I have my own desk, which I can write on with a whiteboard marker, and I have my computer, and this is pretty much the exact tools that I use when I'm at school regularly in the computer lab. We have a computer lab and a whole bunch of whiteboards too. I'd say, you know, I enjoy physics all the time on a regular basis, just whether it comes to solving problems in my classes or my emphasis is also in the area of computational astrophysics. I work with Dr. Nelson on a regular basis. But I'd say my favorite experience overall was actually the Physics Summer Research Institute, which was a big reason why I actually chose to come to the Chico State Physics Department, which was basically a 10-week-long research experience where you get to work closely with a faculty mentor. And they basically teach you about what it's like to do research in the field of physics. And that's really great because it basically tells you what is this going to be like doing it as a career.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know programs like that were offered. So that's awesome to hear. And I'm glad, you know, you ended up loving it and becoming a student here. Let's see, what's something you would say you love about Chico State faculty?
So the Chico State faculty in the physics department they're all very experienced, and they're very smart and skilled, and they're also very passionate about their teaching. And so if you kind of go into one of their classes, if you go in with the attitude of like wanting to be challenged and like wanting to, you know, get, you know, a really challenging experience for yourself, they will do that. But it also results in a, you know, it means that you really get the full deal when you are learning from the faculty, and they're also very open, and it's very easy to go and ask for them for help. And I think they also care a lot about our success as students, both in the department, as far as being Chico State students and getting through the major, but as well as preparing us for our future careers and preparing us for graduate school. And yeah, they're very supportive.
That's awesome. And would you say a lot of your teachers are still super active and available to you, even though we have transitioned online?
Yeah, of course. I would say a lot of them have, at least in the ones I've been working with since we've gone online, have been very available and accessible to help. And you know, I think it's been good. It's been a good experience for me while we've been online, and I think, you know, it'll only get better once we go back in person, going to the new physical science building.
Yeah, that should be really exciting. And I think you might have answered this a little bit earlier, but I'll go ahead and ask again, why did you choose Chico?
Yeah, a big reason was partially because you have this really accessible research program here, which is really important as far as like preparing for a future career if you want to do physics. But then also that you have the close-knit faculty where you can work really closely with the faculty, and they are really passionate about their teaching. And then also the student body is, I think, really close knit too. We have the Society of Physics Students Club, and it's really easy to make friends and to find people to work with, because it is in general pretty challenging, but it's nice to have other people who are going through it with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's good to hear that you were a transfer student too. I know a lot of times transfer students are a little bit nervous about going to a new school, like in the middle of their college experience, but it's looking like it worked really well for you, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah, it was definitely really, it was definitely a bit overwhelming for me when I first transferred, just like switching to a completely different environment. But I had a really good experience transferring here, and it was pretty easy to get in and start being able to find people to work with, and and start to make my foot here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great to hear, and I'm glad you're having a good experience. And I hope you finish strong with your senior year. And thank you for joining me and chatting with me a little bit. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
Of course. Thanks.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, that was super cool. All right, let's go ahead and have our next guest join us, Kristen Gorman, who I actually think used to be one of my lab instructors for genetics. Let's see. She's with the biology department. Let me get them on here. Okay. Hi.
Hey, Diana. I recognize.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
I saw your name on the list and I was like, she told me about genetics.
Excellent. I hope you remember a lot.
I do. You're a great lab instructor. And I heard you went on to actually do the lecture part this last semester, right? That you guys pitched. Awesome.
Yep. Go teach that class with Dr. Keller.
Yeah, Dr. Keller. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Kristen Gorman. I teach human genetics for non-majors, so non-science majors, as well as co-teaching the genetics class with Dr. Keller. And as you said, we switch on and off. So one semester I'll do the lecture and he'll do the discussions, and then we flip back and forth. Awesome. And you can see here that I am in one of our fish facilities. There are actually 2 fish facilities in Holt Hall. So this one is, so you can see it. I turned off the water flow so you can hear us a little better, but this one has 3 species of biomedical research fish. They're small, so we can keep thousands in what looks like bookcases. So we have 4 bookcases that house tons of genetically unique fish. I use the fish for researching the causes of human idiopathic scoliosis or spinal curvature. And Dr. Stitcher also uses this lab for looking into genes and cellular effects of blood formation. And we also have a new fish facility downstairs that has salmon in it. And Dr. Bannett looks at factors that affect adaptation to environmental stress for salmon, a very delicious fish. Actually, we have a lot of different labs and ecological experiences in biology. So if you're interested in life and its nuances, there's lots of ways to interact with it. Microbial, fungal, birds, cells.
All that good stuff.
A lot of stuff, every way you can approach life.
That's awesome. Let me see. I know you have a lab where you work with students.
Mm-hmm.
About how many students do you have, like typically in your labs?
Yeah, thanks. We have in our lab right now. I typically have 6 undergrads and 2 grad students. So students can interact with any of these research projects. So all the professors in biology do their teaching, but they also maintain an active research program. And so students can interact with that research program through a $3.99 course, so they can get credit for their research. A lot of students want to get jobs in either biotech or go on for some graduate work after this, and the experience really gives them an edge up, and they get to learn a lot of extra stuff like how to write grants and how to ask for money and hopefully get money, and and present their research as well. And you'll meet Bernice soon.
That's awesome. Let's see, as you know, from your experience, what do you think is a lesson or a topic that you think a lot of students, you know, it really excites them, or that it's really popular among students when you're teaching?
I think in genetics, the topic that really gets people excited is inheritance. We spend some time going on about the molecule, and that's, well, it's gorgeous, so of course you're going to love it. And when we start talking about how traits are passed on, you can really relate that to yourself and your family, and the accessibility of getting your own personal genetic information really makes knowledge about transmission of traits important and personal for everyone.
Yeah. Okay, and then one more question. What is something you love about Chico State students?
I could go on and give you a list because I really love it, and I love the population here. I would say the first thing that comes to my head is kindness. There's a culture of kindness at Chico State that I think is exemplary, and I'm really so proud to be a part of it. It creates a learning atmosphere that's really cooperative, so that, I don't know, I remember my university experience, it was like a kill or be killed feeling. And at Chico State, everyone's helping each other out, and we're learning as a community, and it makes it really fun. And I would say academically, in that climate of kindness, there's a hunger to learn and a fascination with the subject matter, and it makes it really fun to participate in.
That's awesome. That's so great to hear. And thank you so much for being on campus and giving us like a little sneak peek into your lab. I've always wondered what the fish lab looks like. We always talk about it when we give tours, and I'm like, I don't know what it looks like on the inside. It's nice to see it.
I will show you a quick glance at, if I can flip it. Hey, here's a tank with some fish in it. These fish have scoliosis, but you can see they're really small. Here's my thumb, right? So the fish are really small. And there's lots of them in here. Lots of babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, my coffee.
Well, thank you so much. It was so great to see you again, and honestly, it makes me happy to see that we have faculty still on campus, and obviously work still goes on, even though most of us are from home. And it was great speaking to you today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Diana. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
That's really cool. I've always wanted to see the fish lab. All right, let me go ahead. Our next guest is a student from the biology department. Her name is Berenice. So let me try and add them on here. Okay, cool. There we go. We will wait for them to join us. It's really awesome, I think, hearing from faculty and then having it switch over to a student's perspective, because you get the best of both views. Hi.
Hi, Diana.
How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I've never met you before.
I have never met you either, but if we were in person, we probably would meet and we'd bump into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay.
A little bit more about you.
Yeah, my name is Bernice. I like that you pronounce my name correctly, Berenice. Yeah, that's actually one of the many times now. Whenever I meet people, they usually mispronounce my name, but this is the first time like you really pronounce my name in the correct way, and I am very thankful for that.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I kind of just, when I read something for the first time, I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it and hope, I'm being corrected. But I'm so glad I pronounced it right.
Yeah, well, my name is Bernice Arguello. I'm a third-year student here at Chico State. My major is biological sciences with an emphasis in cellular and molecular biology. I'm an undergrad researcher in the Dr. Gorman lab, so you just met Dr. Gorman.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so my project is just focused on understanding the gene expression of various genes that could be involved in idiopathic scoliosis. And I do that using the fish that you just saw Dr. Gorman show you. So we use a crypt versus normal approach. So mutant fish versus normal fish, and we analyze the gene expression.
That's awesome. I see, are you on campus? You have your mask on. I see the building. What are you doing in the space that you're in? Are you in a specific room or?
Yeah, I'm in the molecular lab. So this lab we share with not just Dr. Gorman, like our lab, but also Dr. Tran. And so we have some pretty cool equipment in here. I'll go ahead and show you.
Yeah.
So in here we can look at cells. So here we have a fluorescent microscope. We can look at the fluorescence of cells that we have treated with different dyes and do experiments with that. What else we do in here? Well, we also can do experiments, RNA, DNA, run gels, PCR, all that good molecular biology stuff that you learn not just in your classes, but you can actually do research and projects and really make a name for yourself and get your name on a paper, a project, present it at conferences.
That's awesome. That's cool that I'm glad that we still have students on campus being able to work, hands-on projects like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what has been your most favorite experience being in the program that you're in?
I have so many experiences. It's crazy. I have a whole list. I feel like it was hard picking one. My favorite was when I think I was a second year, or it was the end of my freshman year. And I had joined the Gorman lab for a semester or two. And at the end of every semester, we go out to eat. Or I think at the end of every year, we go out to eat as a whole, the lab.
Yeah.
And so we went to Tres Hombres and we ate lunch. And I was so excited and having such a good time that I forgot to go to my genetics discussion for my final exam.
Oh.
So I missed out on accident because I was having so much fun.
Yeah.
And Dr. Gorman was there, all the graduate students, other undergrad students, and we all were having such a great time. And you don't really get that at other universities.
Yeah, I'm happy you had that experience. Was everything okay with the exam that you missed afterwards?
I ended up getting a perfect score on the final, so.
Maybe you needed that little relaxation beforehand.
I think that, yeah, I needed that.
That's awesome. Okay, and let's see, what's something you love about Chico State faculty?
They're all really friendly, encouraging. I could go upstairs and say hi to all of them. Yeah. You get to know them on a personal level, not just, through grad students or you hear of them. You actually meet them and create bonds.
That's awesome. And I'm not sure if you mentioned this earlier. Where are you from originally?
I'm from the Central Valley, so if you've heard of a city called Modesto,
yes.
I'm from a small town on the outskirts of Modesto.
Okay, awesome. And why did you choose Chico State?
Again, there's so many reasons. I could have gone to a UC, I could have gone out of state. To boil it down, it felt like home. So Chico State is not in a super, super busy city area, nor is it some university in the middle of nowhere. No matter where you go, you'll still get that research experience, but what's unique about the research experiences that you get at Chico State is that you get to work one-on-one with professors. Not just professors, but the graduate students. You won't really get that at other research institutions that are much bigger. But you still get that experience and those skills. And you also form bonds with your classmates. You get to know them. After a year or two, you familiarize with people in your major, and it's not just you in a crowd of thousands.
Yes. You're actually a student and not just a number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for giving us a little view into your life and your experience in the lab and as a student. Somebody said out to Modesto. I'm from Salida. And someone gave a shout out to Dr. Gorman. She's so much fun to hang out with.
She is. She's so much fun.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you, and thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to tell prospective students a little bit more about the biology department. And It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you too. All right. I love all the students, all the faculty we've had so far have been amazing. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and have our next guest from nutrition. It's one of my majors. Okay. Let's go ahead and add Chico State. I think I saw Randy Miller comment. And I know him because he used to be the chair for chemistry and would give tours of the labs when we would have tour groups come to campus. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to add Joan on here. Takes a few minutes. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Let me request her. Oh, someone said, oh, okay. Hi, Joan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. I'm Joan Giampoli. I'm the chair of the Department of Nutrition and Food Science. How are you, Diana?
I'm well. I love representing nutrition.
Thank you. Let me tell you a little bit about what I teach in the food management classes. And I also have done an externship where I looked at the eating disorders, but mainly I teach the Introduction to Food Service Admissions Administration course. I teach the procurement course, as well as the food service equipment and management course. So I love teaching all of those courses. What's going on, there's a lot going on in nutrition and food science, and I'm so excited to be part of the department. With what's going on in our spaces, Center for Healthy Communities, I just have to give a shout out for CHC, which is
Yes.
one of the opportunities students can have. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my phone straight here. I said I keep bouncing it.
No worries.
CHC, where students can have externships throughout the community with one of our faculty members, Stephanie Bianco. And it gives great externship for students to get experience in the community with nutrition, food service. Those are wonderful opportunities. We also have the food lab. And so what's happening in our space is the food lab with students.
I love the food lab.
Whenever we ever talk about what is your favorite thing, that is one of their favorite things are those classes. The 120, which is the principles of foods, which basically talks about how to prepare foods and cook foods, not only so it's nutritionally appropriate, but tastes good. And Maria, also, you talk about the kind of the chemistry of how to make bread rise properly, or why does that pudding gel. It talks about the different principles with that. And then Maria also teaches more of an advanced food science lab where there's a food product development project in it, which is NFSC 320. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, in the food lab, there's also 429, which is our cultural foods lab, where students go through the different cultures throughout the world and they prepare foods. Diane, I'm sure you're familiar.
I just took that class last semester.
Did you?
And it was awesome having all of these different guest speakers, learning about different cultures and creating their dishes in their traditional way that they're made. It was a great class. I love it.
Perfect. And the last thing, which has been new probably this last 3 or 4 years, and I'm very excited about too, is Lauren Halsey, one of our professors, is bringing in more of, she works with biology and more what you call bench science. So it's an actual lab she works in where she's looking at cancer cells and sulforaphane and how that compound sulforaphane helps inhibit the development and spread of cancer cells in the body. And so that's been really exciting too. There's a lot going on in our department, and I'm excited about it with that. And I think some of the students, those are some of their favorite things is the labs and those.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what's a topic or a lesson that you think is really popular with students? And I know, like, the food lab is a big, like, physical, like, class and that students love, like, going into working with the kitchens and having, you know, to cook at lab, but is there any other topic that you think is like a really big hit with students?
When I taught, and particularly in my classes, when I teach them, eating disorders was a topic that they were very interested in talking about. I gave an externship on that. That's something they're very interested in learning more about to be able to go and help the community or help clients later on with the eating disorders. They love the guest speakers in my food service procurement class, 4:30. They love the guest speakers because the guest speakers come and talk about school nutrition, child nutrition. That's a project I give also as a child nutrition project on menu planning, making sure the menu's in compliance with regulations. Students love doing that project. And they also like hearing, interested in becoming about a registered, environmental health specialist, which is an option that they can also use. So they like hearing about those different topics, as well as negotiating skills, because it's management. We talk about negotiating skills and human resources. So they like all those topics. Medical nutrition therapy, definitely they love the counseling, the fit you, the counseling and practicing their counseling skills in more of the medical nutrition therapy aspect of our program. Yeah.
Awesome. And my last question for you is, what is something you love about Chico State students and working with them?
You know, someone mentioned I love working with Chico State students, and I agree with Kristen, the kindness and the compassion of the students. And I think that goes along with, I see our students, they want to get back to the community. They're working, they want to learn, and they want to learn so they can give back to their community. And that's what I really love about them, is that passion for helping others and doing for others that can, doing good for others and being able to help their community. That's what I really like. And the positivity. Positivity, this is just with everything going on. They are, as you know, Diana, they are working through this, and they're keeping positive and sticking to this. Diana, can I flip the question here a minute on you?
Yes, go for it.
Since you're a student, what do you like about the faculty?
Honestly, I love just how personable a lot of the faculty are. I feel like I was always scared, thinking that my professors were going to be really intimidating and cool. And I love when faculty talk about their research, their real life experience, things they did as a student, how they all got to where they are in completely different routes. I feel like so many are just always willing to answer questions, to help us look for internships, for jobs, give us advice. I mentioned this earlier, but I love having faculty that's passionate in the field that they're teaching in, and I can really see that through a lot of the professors I've had, and I love that. And I like that a lot of people remember my name. You know, I'm not just a number walking through school. If I had a teacher my freshman year, they'll recognize your face and say hello, and they're always just really lovely. And you know, there's just, I'm so thankful to have gone to school here and to have a lot of really amazing faculty. And I love watching like the TEDx videos we've been doing, or we started that I think a couple of years ago on campus, and I think we did an online version too, but I personally just love learning about faculty and what they do like outside of the classroom, and how they bring that back into the classroom. So to me, I find that pretty fascinating.
Perfect. Thank you.
But thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit more about nutrition. It was so good to see you, and thank you for taking some time out of your day to talk with me.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Diana.
Have a good day. Goodbye.
You too.
All right. Our next person is Thomas Mattman. Let me go ahead and add him on here. There we go. And I'm seeing some of these comments on here. Someone's shout out to Center for Healthy Communities. David said, Joan taught me how to make amazing pizza dough. Great to hear. Hi. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit more about your department?
Sure. My name is Thomas Mattman. I'm in the math department.
Awesome. Let's see. What do you teach?
Yeah, I teach quite a lot of quite a lot of calculus to our freshmen, and also I teach algebra and geometry to some of our majors.
Awesome. And let's see, out of all of the classes you've taught, what do you think is maybe a subject that you think students really like? Maybe once they're in the math department already, or a specific subject?
Yeah, I think maybe more than the courses, I think what the students really enjoy is the opportunity to do research with their instructors. Yeah, so that's kind of a exciting part. They're not really formal courses, but a lot of the students are working with me on research.
Oh, what kind of research are you doing?
I have kind of two main areas of research. I do research in knot theory. So this is like what you tie in string. And then I'm also doing research on networks. So, like social networks and those kinds of networks. So just how they're connected together and the mathematics of it.
That's awesome. About how many students do you work with at a time when you're doing research?
It's pretty exclusive. I'm usually just working with a few students at a time, but we have a new program now that I'm actually doing in calculus where we're getting the whole class to work on research projects. So we're trying to transition to actually doing research right in the regular courses like calculus.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. What do you love about Chico State students?
Yeah, I really chime in with what the other people have been saying. They're really, grit is a great word for it. They're very hardworking, and really nice is also good. Really friendly. I would say what I really like is, they're happy to be here. They're happy to be in Chico. They're enjoying their college experience, and that really is that's a lot of fun. I enjoy the students because they have a good I would say joie de vivre. They're enjoying their life, and they're working hard.
I like that. Can you say that one more time? All right, let's see. Is there anything else you want to share with prospective students about the math department?
Yeah, I would say the things that other people have been saying, and I don't know if it's been brought out that much, but there's a lot of opportunities for students to work pretty closely with the professors here. I guess we had somebody who was working in a fish lab, so that's kind of exciting. And I think, like you said, there's a pretty good contact between the professors and the students. We know the students' names and we recognize them, so it's a pretty personal feel. So I think that's pretty nice feature of Chico.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us a little more information on the math department and taking a few minutes out of your day to talk with us today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
You too.
All right, we're going to have our next student from the math department, Juan Diaz. Let's see here. I feel like I've enjoyed talking to everybody. Time is going by so fast. Hi, Juan.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you study.
My name's Juan. I'm a senior at Chico State, and I'm a math major.
Nice. Where are you from?
I'm actually a local. I'm a Chico local.
Awesome. What do you love about Chico State?
Oh man.
Or your program? What do you love about your program?
What's not to love? I guess just the rigor, that comes with mathematics. You learn a lot about yourself, and working through problems, and you make a lot of deep connections with people, with friends, and it's just I love this program.
What do you like about any of the faculty that you've had or worked with in math?
Oh, everyone's super friendly. It's super friendly and inviting. They really care about who you are. It's like one big family, one big math family.
Nice. And when you came, did you transfer or did you come to Chico State as a first year?
I actually transferred from Butte College.
Nice. I love students. Were you always like, so you came into Chico knowing you were going to study math?
I actually started out as engineering, but the math was just a lot funner, and yeah.
Nice. I always like to ask that because I feel like prospective students feel like they have to come in knowing what they want to study, and I'm like, it's completely okay to change your mind, and you're a perfect example of that, and you ended up picking something that you thought was like more fun, which is great. Why did you choose Chico?
Yeah, it's a great question. I also got accepted to other universities, but I think Chico has the most balance for a good lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's pretty small. There's no traffic, and anything that your heart desires, you can get it within like 15 minutes of your location, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's parks, swimming holes, like anything you want to do. You can do it here in Chico.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. It's a great place to come to college. Is there any last minute thing you'd like to say? Let's see. I really like to hear students. Oh, so someone commented that they like to hear about the rigor of courses because, of course, it's not an easy walk through the park, but you enjoy the challenge that you face in classes. And, of course, you have the faculty there to support you. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it is hard, and when you're going through it, it's pretty brutal. But when you come out of it, you learn something about yourself, and you learn more material. So it's good all around. And professors are always pushing us, and but they're super understanding, and super helpful with anything.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk to us a little bit more about the math department. And it was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay. Up next, we have Dr. Arpin, who I had for chemistry as well. I'm excited. Okay. I've been seeing her comments, I think, on the Instagram. Someone said, I really like to hear that students like the rigor of courses, but feel the faculty are approachable and helpful. Hi, Dr. Arpin.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and this is my son, Gavin.
Hi, Gavin. Oh.
Sorry.
Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Carolyn Arpin. I am an associate professor in chemistry, and I have been at Chico State since 2014.
Wow.
So, I love it.
That was when I graduated high school.
Nice.
Nice. What kind of...
Hold on.
You want to tell us a little bit more about maybe some of the research you do?
Yeah, so I primarily do med chem research. So really the goal of my lab is to literally synthesize small molecules that have a biologically relevant purpose. So we will make small molecules that hopefully affect disease, or we're even making small molecules that are pesticides. And we are just in the lab performing organic synthesis day in and day out. We're like those traditional, I don't know if you saw them on the cartoons, we're like the lab mad chemists in there with all the fun glassware and crazy cool things.
Awesome. Do you currently have students that you're working with and doing research with?
Yeah, so you'll hear about one of my students, Kendall, after me, and I actually have two more. And then with all of the labs being online next semester, I'm trying to take even more research students. So yeah, they're in the lab at least twice a week, and Kendall's in there. Kendall's an honor student, so she's in there literally almost every day. And yeah, we are working hard.
And let's see, what do you think is maybe a lesson or a topic that you think students get really excited?
Yeah, that's a great question. So really, I think it's anything that relates to our daily lives, because it's definitely hard sometimes because we get into the as was mentioned, the rigor of everything and the nitty gritty. But when you relate it back to the like what they see, so like in general chemistry, when we talk about batteries, we can really relate it to what they use every day. When I'm even teaching organic 1, we talk about stereochemistry. So we'll talk about how molecules like fill a space. And so that really becomes important when we're talking about how drugs interact with proteins and how they affect their purpose. And then even in OChem 2, when we get to like the more biologically relevant things like sugars and stuff like that, I think students really get involved in, just things that really relate to their everyday lives. Yeah.
And what's something you love about Chico State students?
Yeah, I really do love this question. So I write about this in grants, actually, and I think I do a really good job about it. It's definitely the Wildcat way, right? That's definitely a thing here. Just how students really know that this place is unique. And I hear a lot of students say that it really wasn't like on the top of their list until they visit, and then they realize just how unique this place is and how special it is. And the students really embrace that. They know how many opportunities are here, especially in chemistry. They totally understand that at a big research institution, you're not going to get the hands-on, like instrumental experience that they do, as well as the research experience. And like, they just relish it. And they just soak it up and they love it. I love it.
Yes, I agree. Somebody said, hi, Gavin. And then they said, how do you balance teaching and family?
Yeah, that's a really good question because it's pretty tough. Like you were asking people what we do in our space. And so in this space, I'm definitely a lecturer. I teach lab and I also teach kindergarten. And then my younger daughter is learning to potty train. And so it's definitely a challenge. I will just say that. It's definitely a challenge.
Nice. And somebody asked if your students will be working in the new building this coming spring.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So me and my colleague, Dr. Nadia Korovina, we're just like, when do we get the keys to our actual research lab so that we can start moving stuff and like start work over there? And so we're just counting down the days. And so we are super excited. It's a huge lab, like a bunch of us chemists are sharing one big lab. And we are really excited to just really like adapt and really grow into the space because there's so much stuff there.
Awesome. And then people are just loving you and giving you shout outs, saying one of the best professors on campus. They love the balance with the family. And somebody said sugar, because you mentioned sugar. I know I had you for organic chemistry last semester when everything happened and we made the transition to online. And can I just say, you handled that like a boss. Yes. Like, I don't think I ever got to tell you this, but we were nervous, but I feel like you were nervous too because it's a hard course and you transitioned in the middle of the semester to online, but you handle it so well. Your instructional videos, I still, passed the class with a good grade. And I think that has been the first chem class in a while where I actually like retained a lot of the information as a non-science teacher. Like all of your videos, I loved how organized you were with all of the notes, all of your office hours, color coordinating. I do that now on my notes. Like I do your little asterisks when I'm doing bullet points and everything. I feel like I gained so many like small techniques. I'm in biochem right now, and I took a lot of what I learned from you over, and that's something I'm very thankful for. And I don't think I ever got the chance to say that. So a lot of us we're super thankful that you rocked that transition to online.
I can't tell you how much that means to me, for real. That was so kind of you. And I just wanted to say that we're all just doing our best. I remember saying that last semester. All we can do is our best. And so everyone should really just take solace in that. All we can do is our best. And we all are doing that, for real.
Yay. Okay. Well, thank you so much for some time and telling us about what you do. And we're going to talk to one of your...
Thanks.
Bye. I feel like I got super excited there, but she literally was a really great chemistry teacher from someone who isn't a chem major. Okay, let's go ahead and have Kendall join us, who I believe she said is one of her research students. And then this is our last guest. Save the best for last. Hi.
Hello.
Please go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do.
All right. Well, I'm Kendall. I'm a 5th year student here at Chico State. So right now I'm in my research lab. So this is kind of what it looks like behind me. There's my Fume Hood. So I've been doing research ever since my sophomore year. I got the pleasure to start working with Dr. Arpin in the spring on a project involving Alzheimer's disease. So I'm having a ton of fun making some small molecules to try to, maybe hopefully create the next drug that will help people with Alzheimer's disease.
That's so cool to hear. I am like shocked that, well, not shocked, but just impressed that students get to do that kind of work on campus. What space are you in right now? I think you are on campus right now.
Yeah, so let me show you my space. Okay, so this is where I run all of my experiments. This is the Fume Hood. And right now, like the next step in my project is to analyze the stuff that's in this round bottom right here. So I'm going to be putting it in this tiny tube and putting it in our nuclear magnetic resonance machine. And pretty much what I get out from doing that analysis is a graph. This tells me all the protons are relative to each other. So I kind of already worked up this graph. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then Dr. Arpin was talking about like all of our glassware. So here's our glassware wall. I definitely use all of this equipment in here. Our balance. And then I think this is one of the coolest looking instruments we have. But all it does is it pulls so it's super cool. It's called a rotary evaporator. But yeah, that's my lab. It's pretty fun.
Awesome. Let's see. What has been maybe your favorite experience in your major?
Yeah, so definitely doing research is my favorite experience. I got to do summer research and 2 summers in a row. Well, not in a row. I did summer research in between my sophomore and my junior year, I think, and then also this past summer, which was great. But also, I love the chemistry classes here, and I'm sure they're all the same, no matter where you go to get your undergraduate degree in chemistry. But the way that the professors teach these subjects is so fascinating. So that's one of my favorite experiences here at Chico.
Awesome. And what do you really like about Chico State faculty?
They're so supportive of all your goals. So they've really helped me grow as a person and as a professional and as an academic person. I came into Chico State thinking that I was like just barely going to get through all my classes. I thought I wasn't meant for college, but here I am doing research, like, after 3 years. Yeah, they've really supported me and believed in my ability to succeed, which was huge for me.
That's awesome. That's so great to hear. And why did you choose Chico State?
Well, I would like to show you why. So I'm going to go out into the hallway. Our new students probably won't get to see this. This is the old building. This is the tour that I went on with Dr. Miller. So Dr. Miller, hi Blaine. Dr. Miller took us into this lab. You're right. Hi. There's some researchers in here. But Dr. Miller took us into this lab, and he said that we get to touch and use and fix every single one of these instruments in here. So that was just incredible for me. So yeah, that was why. Dr. Miller showing me this space with all these instruments and telling me that I get to use them and fix them was literally, that was why I came here. I was like, okay, I'm going to get the best education.
That's awesome. And he actually gave you a shout out. He said, Kendall is a star.
Thanks, Dr. Miller.
You also have somebody else, I believe Eliana said, Kendall is the best. So they're all giving you shout outs.
Thanks, Yeah, no, I miss you.
Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to show us some of the cool stuff you get to work on. And I'm so happy to see that you are on campus and still getting your research experience. So that's really great to see.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you too.
Bye. Have a good day.
Bye.
All right, so I'm going to make this a quick wrap up. I hope you all enjoyed learning about the College of Natural Science. I feel like I had a huge smile on my face because everyone was amazing. I love this college, and it was so nice to hear from faculty and students, and it was good to see some of their faces after not being on campus for a while. But I'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you everyone for joining, and I'll go ahead and save this video if you need to go back to it and look at different departments or different people that talked today. And thank you so much, and I hope you all have a good rest of your